Welcome back
to Oh God, Please, not another podcast. I'm Josh Dell.
I'm Braylee Linderman.
And it is Wednesday and the middle of July.
Is it Wednesday?
Oh, wait, no, today's Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't really keep track of days anymore. I asked somebody yesterday, I was like, is it the weekend? And they're like, no. And I was like, I don't know. I work in music. I've worked in music for a long time. So,
well, to be fair, we normally film on Wednesdays, but I was having a really bad mental day yesterday. So Josh and I instead edited our last one, which just came out yesterday.
Episode 10.
10.
Dude, that's pretty good.
10.
Pretty good.
That's amazing. How many people make it to, now we're on 11, which is my favorite number.
That it is amazing. And like nobody I talked to thought that you could be consistent for this long. So it's great to I consulted with everybody. I was like, do you think this is like worth investing my time in? And
hey, real quick, after the first episode of the podcast, Josh called me and was like, are people actually going to listen? Is it worth it?
Still TBD. Are people going to listen? No. It's been great. We have a lot of downloads, like more than I thought. Like at this point we would. I know it's kind of a consistency thing, but we're being consistent, for the most part.
The post yesterday did well.
Oh, it was awesome.
We are on our way to a 10,000 viewed video. We are on our way.
Yeah, we are. I think that might actually hit it like in the next few days. We'll see if
so?
We'll see. I mean,
so.
Sometimes things like kind of like stop, slow down. What's been weird, and this might be boring to people listening, but what's been weird is like TikTok, like right out the gate, we get a lot of engagement and then it kind of just slows down. But then maybe a few days later, sometimes it'll pick back up. But
yeah, I think I told you TikTok right now is like recycling old videos. Yeah, because some of my old videos are like starting to get likes again. And so clearly they're being cycled. Yeah. Also, fun fact, this might sound boring. So I got to be part of the beta on Spotify in order to like join Discovery Mode campaign.
Oh, Discovery or Showcase?
No, Discovery.
Oh, because usually they were having you have a 25,000 monthly listeners.
Yeah, I didn't. For some reason, I didn't. I've never had 25,000 monthly listeners, but for some reason, I guess because I had enough songs on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I joined it, and it started yesterday. I already got 50 new listeners.
Oh, really?
Which is a really big deal for me.
I'll have to check out. I wonder if I got access to that too, because I actually have a pretty for not releasing music or anything, like I have 1,500 monthly listeners all the time.
Yeah.
Around that. So, which is like decent, especially but last release I did, it took a couple weeks, but after a couple weeks, then like the algorithm kind of like Spotify radio and stuff started kicking in. So then I got like 11,000 monthly listeners or something, which was cool, but it's always sad to see it go back down.
Oh, man, always.
So if you're listening to this, check out our music too. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? You already like our voices, our talking voices. Imagine what our singing voices are like.
I don't know. Every time I listen to this podcast, I'm like, Josh's voice grates on my nerves.
Really?
All the time.
I think I told you this, but I kind of have my own special version of this podcast where I just don't I mute your voice the whole time. So I just kind of listen to me talk, and then I agree with it in the car, and it's good.
Wait, if you're watching this, yesterday we were we're editing the podcast, and every time Josh was like saying something, out of the corner of my eye, I could see Josh nodding to himself. He was like,
that's a good point.
And then at one point he was like,
yes. Man.
I was like, Josh, are you agreeing with yourself?
No.
You're like, it's a good point.
It's a good point. It's a good point. No, I don't. I actually kind of just do that when I sit there. I don't know why I give tempo to everything, but I'll it doesn't matter if it's me, you, or whatever. If I'm watching it or whatever, I'll just kind of I give it a tempo in my head. I don't know why. But yeah, it really wasn't me. I don't. Trust me when I say this. I really don't think anything I say is all that interesting, or
it's not.
Great. Yeah, I don't think anything. I bring a little to the table, but I'm not bringing the whole meal. You know what I mean? I probably bring if it's a KFC meal, I bring the mac and cheese or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not the fried chicken.
I am the fried chicken.
Oh,
and the mashed potatoes with gravy.
Really?
And?
Really? I was going to say you're kind of like the green beans or something, the stuff that nobody really wants, but it's just kind of there.
Okay, so I'm the one that makes you regular. You're welcome.
Weird coming from someone who is always impacted with shit.
I really am. This weekend was the worst. Anyways.
Oh, really? You say that every weekend?
No, because I just could not. What is it about going to a different place where your body's like, nope.
It is weird. And there's like a travel constipation, but I also hate being away from my home toilet. Like that's one of the worst things about going out on the road. I do. I have a bidet. I have a squatty potty. I have the works, man. Like I'm thinking about getting. I told you about that. My invention of the net that holds your
balls.
Things. Yeah.
Your things. Yeah. Say what it is.
Yeah, your balls. The net would be nice. Not that I don't have long balls yet, but one day I will. But like a little fan too, like or something would be nice. I don't know. They have those Japanese toilets that are like $12,000 and they do everything.
Yeah.
And it's nice. Like I think at one point you can just talk to it like a therapist, and it kind of gives you like. They're like, I think it's
down. It's like, talk to me, Josh.
Yeah. I think it stems from your mother. Your relationship with your mother is.
And you're like, wow, I'm emptying and I'm emptying my emotions.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is beautiful.
Yeah, I come out of there very.
You know what? Okay, so when I'm on a road trip, so we drove to the lake this past weekend for the 4th of July.
Yes.
And I am very, very picky about like gas station bathrooms. Yes. Obviously, you have to be.
But you stopped at Buc-ee's.
I obviously stopped at Buc-ee's. Yeah. And what's great about Buc-ee's is they also have
clean bathrooms.
Yeah, clean bathroom. And there's like that soap in there. It's like, you want to clean the toilet? Here, use me. Like, they're always so clean. Honestly, sometimes it feels cleaner than my own bathroom.
Yeah, I've been to your bathroom. It's pretty.
You have never been to my bathroom. You've been to the guest bathroom, I'm sure.
No, I haven't. I've actually only been to your house one time. And that was enough for me. I didn't need to go back.
You're right.
I saw it and I was like, the floor is sinking in.
It was sinking in. My floor is sinking in.
This place should be zoned off as a
I'm actually shocked that it passed inspection because our house is really old. It's like from 1940.
Yeah.
And the floor is just really wobbly. And Tom, even if you were to put a water bottle down in our master bedroom, it would roll. Our house is sinking.
It's built on an angle, you know?
Yeah. But we did have somebody come to check out our foundation to make sure our house actually wasn't sinking. He was like, no, it's good. Your floors are just warped from like it being old. And I was like, all right. But
that's good.
But we also found stuff in our backyard. We found that we found a cup of teeth.
A cup of teeth?
Yeah.
From the last people who like lived there, they buried like
I'll send you a picture and you can like post it on the YouTube. It was Tom goes, oh my God, and it's dentures. I think it's dentures, but just sitting in a plastic cup.
But they're individual, or it's like a whole.
No, it's like
together.
It's like one. It's like a row of teeth.
Yeah. A row of teeth.
Yeah. I found like really old china from the 1800s. I found that with the metal detector you got me.
Was there? Oh, there's probably lead in them.
Speaking of lead, there's lead in tampons.
Oh yeah, I know. I can't use my favorite ones.
What's your favorite ones, Josh?
I'm kind of a Kotex girly myself, and like speaking of like the opposite of vacation constipation, sometimes you get the vacation evacuation, and I kind of just like to pop one of those up there just like it blocks.
I thought you were gonna make up a name and be like, oh, I love the plug and goes.
The plug and goes. Oh yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know because I don't really have a heavy flow myself.
Could America stop trying to poison us? Because that probably is why a lot of people are experiencing reproductive issues.
Well, and I told you about they're finding microplastic in guys' balls, like in their like sperm and stuff. There's like microplastics in there.
Y'all, something is
microplastics, and it's crossed the blood-brain barrier as well.
What does that mean?
So like from your blood to your brain, kind of whatever. We got a bunch of microplastics just floating around in there right now. What do we do as I drink from a plastic cup?
Me too. And as I have my Starbucks and refined sugar.
Well, this is zero
artificial sugar.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's weird to know that like I'm basically more G.I. Joe than I am human now. And I just got like a plethora of microplastics in my sack.
I think I told you that our generation is going to be the first generation that doesn't outlive our parents. But if we live past the age of like 60, then we're more than likely to live past the age of 100.
So weird. Also, we're seeing more and more people. This is kind of a downer, but like 30-years with colon cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like it's a
big thing. Well, that, and apparently you've never digested anything you've ever eaten in your life, and it's just all lived inside you forever. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it feels
You're
like.
You're kind of like the microplastic of humans.
Yeah, if somebody watching this,
you're
listening
styrofoam.
to it, yeah, can somebody tell me what to do? Because I am miserable all the time.
Magnesium citrate,
done that.
I know, and you said you was like a rocket.
And
like
here is the thing, though. Like when I emptied my colon out for the colonoscopy, I had the most energy I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Like I was.
Well, they say diseases start there too,
Yeah,
so it's like
my brain wasn't foggy. Like I was getting shit done, but then the moment it just backed back up, I was like, damn.
Well, I think it's good to point out to our listeners and to ourselves that you're quite literally always full of shit.
Yeah, obviously, I have to live up to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
so
right.
It makes sense that you talk about dumb things because I normally equate it to, she's just full of shit.
Sorry, I'm glitching. Anyways, what'd you do for
I thought you were having a movement.
What'd you do for the 4th?
For the 4th, went over to Keith's house and we watched the fireworks from the top floor of his house in he lives in Salem town. It's like a little... It's just like a little thing. Yeah, there are. Yeah, we burned a couple witches for 4th of July, which is cool. Pretty tasty barbecue.
Yeah. Were the fireworks good from Germantown?
Oh, they're great. He has like a top deck where you can like see a 360 view. So we got the whole drone show, and then like there were multiple, like East had its own fireworks show, and then like
y'all, if you haven't seen the Nashville fireworks show, it's incredible. I think it's one of the top in the world.
One of the top. Yeah, I think we beat out New York.
Yeah. I think we beat, and one year we did beat out Washington D.C., which is a big deal because that's like
which isn't
the
a
land
state
of America.
But
what?
Washington D.C. is not a state.
Well, Washington D.C. I guess. Okay, fine. Where is it? Virginia?
Well, no, it's a
district.
It's a district. Yeah, it's the District of Columbia.
I guess it just doesn't make sense to me.
It's kind of shared between, I think.
It's like shared between Maryland and Virginia.
Yeah, and Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't think it's considered a city-state. I think there's only 3 city-states in the world. 4 city-states? Like the Vatican's a city-state where it's like it has its own, I think, government rule of its like of that like. Yeah, I don't think that's it, but yeah, districts, they're interesting. Do we know about them? Not really. I've seen the Hunger Games. They have districts in the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
That's probably what 2025 is going to be like anyways.
Listen, if I was in the Hunger Games, I would just jump off the block right before the time went down, so I would just blow up.
If I was in the Hunger Games, I'd be so hungry.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
You would.
Because I don't really want to fight for my...
I don't either. And obviously somebody
I always tell people I don't have that much of a will. Like, like my first, even the next minor inconvenience, I'm just going to be like, take me. I don't care.
I wanted to kill myself on Monday because the label printer at work wasn't working, and it was sending me into orbit. I was so mad to the point where I was almost sweating. I was like, "This is making me so viscerally angry."
It is weird, like how like you have physical reactions after your like brain starts melting down, and you're like, "Man, it's so crazy how like." And that's been one of my things. Okay, so that's been one of my things is like. I feel like I've never had a mind-body connection. I think I told you that. And like, so that's what I've been trying to work on.
Elaborate. What are you saying?
So like a mind-body connection, like I've always felt really disconnected from my body. Like I've never like, unless I'm like in major pain or something, like I've always just never, I don't know. Like I don't really feel connected to my body. It's weird. Like I just like it. Like I said, unless there's like pain or something like that, because I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, like now, like that I'm trying to like eat like healthier foods and things like that. Like I'm like, oh, I feel better. Like when I consume this stuff, I think clearer. I like, and I mean, I've done those things before and realized that, but like, I don't know, like you don't really. I think there's a lot of direct result that I just was always skipping over of like consuming something bad and then feeling bad or something like that. Like it's a big deal, mind body connection. I'm surprised you haven't like, it's been like kind of a hot topic. I feel like people have been talking about, and just like gut health, controlling your mental health too.
If I'm being 1,000% honest, I'm not comprehending it. Like I can't imagine, I don't really know. I guess I've never thought about it. So
yeah. And that's maybe where I was at too. Maybe I just never really.
Do I want to think about it? Is it going to freak me out?
No. But like they do say like your gut biome is really responsible for your mental health too. And like the foods you consume and like things like that. So it's just kind of stuff like that.
Well, when I was going through that like super bad depression, beginning of 2022, I bought a book called Eat to Beat Depression. And it was like talking about different foods that actually help your gut, because everything's connected to your gut, right? So like it causes your brain and like things to malfunction. I'm even reading a book right now where a guy's like, my anxiety is really bad, so I have to like go, I can't eat that because I'll, we all know that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I'm doing right now, because your girl's been in a mental state for the past week. That isn't fun. I know. Shout out to Josh, because like there's not a lot of people I could talk to about mental health, because like, some people understand it, some people don't, which is fine. But like yesterday I started crying and Josh just went, I'm sorry. He didn't try to fix it. He just went, I'm sorry. And that was the best. Don't fix me. Just let me vent.
Oh. Were you talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Oh, I was thinking about, I just did. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that what you did?
I did a pat and a rub of like, I'm sorry, and no, it is true. And a lot of times, and that is one of those things that like people say, like guys always try to fix things, and like rarely, I can only speak from my perspective because I'm a male, but like, males always, I'm sorry, this is how I was born, and we have to live with it. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like me saying this is, anyways.
Say it.
No, I feel like what I just said, like this is how I was born. But like, if you don't feel that way, that's totally fine too. Like, I just am saying, like, I've always felt like how I was born, and I'm a guy. But
okay.
I'm just saying, however you feel, that's totally fine. Yeah. I'm just saying, I am a guy. I've always felt like a guy. But I have learned, through years and relationships and different things. Like, and I actually always had a good amount of like female friends, but like a lot of the time, like guys will offer advice to like fix something, and that's not really ever the case of like what you need to be doing. Especially like, I feel like when I'm talking to like women, it's like mostly you just need to listen, and like you just need to be like supportive, but not in a way that like no one's asking you to fix their problems. They're just like, they just want to be heard. And like I think that's like, and I think that's true with a lot of people, like other than just like women, but like I do think like that's part of that like kind of toxic masculinity of like how like I think, all your, I can sum up like the solution to your problem just like right after you tell it to me. Like I can fix it. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not true. There's so much nuance and everything. And like to think that like you can just come in and be like ride in on a white horse, or like come in like Superman and be like, I'll tell you how to fix that like in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's never, just hear somebody out. Like you don't need to always try to fix things unless somebody asks for your help.
Well, yeah, I was about to say that. Typically, like when I'm feeling like this, I think it's good to talk about it on a podcast. I have struggled with mental depression, anxiety as long as I can remember, and it comes and goes. And I haven't felt this. I literally have not felt this way since maybe 2022. Like just kind of like. I can't explain it. The best way I can explain it is it feels like my head is like heavy. Like my everything feels heavy from the top down.
Just a little bit, just.
And but I, sometimes like there's some stuff that have been going on, and the rule of thumb is if somebody says to you, hey, I really need advice on this, then give your advice.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me if I'm wrong, please give your advice.
Yeah.
But if somebody's like, I don't know, things are just rough right now, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, then just like,
what would fix that is if he did lunges or something, nobody's looking for that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And, and a lot of the times that's not what I'm looking for. Sometimes I just need to like, just vent and just get everything out of my brain. And once it's out of my brain, I kind of feel lighter. Yeah. And so I think what's really frustrating is, especially with mental health, is when people are like, well, then, you need to go do this and this. You need to go change your diet. You need to go work out. Obviously, when you feel this way, we obviously know there's steps to take to like get better. Yeah. But it takes a second.
And it's really hard, to make those first steps. Cause I've dealt with depression also my entire life. Like I tell this story a lot, and I don't know how this is tied in to, I guess I don't tell it a lot, but people that are close to me know it. Like I remember being 10 years old and like standing on the beach, and I was like, there was something in my head that said, remember this moment, it's the happiest you'll ever be.
Oh, Oh.
And I was like,
you never told me that.
Oh, it was weird. But then I, looking back on that, I was like, wow, I was a pretty depressed kid, and I've always, kind of struggled with depression and stuff. And it is different. Like, I think there is a stigma of like men and things like that, like where it's just kind of like, yeah, dude, you suck it up, and you just kind of go through your life. And part of that, there is some part of that where it is like, yeah, life has to go on. You know what I mean? Like, you have to keep living, and you have to like try but like, that does not mean that you don't have better, like some days are better than others. You know what I mean? Like, and that doesn't make that not real, that depression, but like,
that's what's frustrating with when people are like, I want to go back to when women were women and men were men and da-da-da. And it's like, okay, so you want to go back to where women were suicidal and men were killing themselves because they couldn't seek help for their emotions. Like,
and everybody was so drugged up. Like, when people were talking about that, I'm like, dude, Quaaludes and like all this other stuff. And like, women just used to be like diagnosed with hysteria. That's just what it is.
Lobotomies,
like,
left and right.
They're like, oh, she's hysterical. Yeah, hysteria.
I went to school in Milledgeville, Georgia, that had at one point, the largest psych ward in the world. It was called Central State Hospital. It is so creepy now. Every building is still there. It's from the 1800s. Wow. Josh, it is so creepy. Bodies buried everywhere.
Really?
And you have
they buried him there at the place? Wow.
Yes, and like they have iron. Anyways, it's creepy, whatever. But if you look at the history of it, the amount of women there more than men was insane, because like a woman could cry because of her period, and like, oh, she
and her
needs
husband could send him off.
Yes.
Like,
and so like the graveyard, technically they're just numbers. It's sad that people are numbers, but majority of them were women. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, all that to say,
it is
all that to say is that mental health is so important. Yeah. It's so important. And, I'm finally kind of feel like I'm digging myself out of this little hole that I'm in, but I know I'll be in it again. But it's okay, because if you get through it once, you get through it again. And that is one thing that has not made me lose my mind, is because 2022 is the worst depression I've ever had in my life. And I got through that. So this is just like a hiccup, if that makes sense.
There is something, and I think there is something about like doing it time and time again of like, kind of digging yourself back out of the hole of like repetition. Yeah. Whereas I think you're really creating new neural pathways in your brain of like, oh, I've been down this path before. Like, maybe it's still like, maybe I still have to forage a little bit to get out there, but like pretty soon, like it's going to start being a hiking trail in your brain. You know what I mean? Like that's what they do. Like there's a wilderness trail by my house, and it's like some guy just one day starts one with a machete. He just starts cutting away, hacking away at things. And the more people walk it, the more people like, it develops a groove. It develops like, and that's like what I think your mental health journey is like. Like, you just have to like, that's why people say just keep going, because like it really is that, like, keep going and keep trying to like come out of this thing. And like it's hard when you're in it, man, because everything feels like it's weighing down on you, and you can never imagine a life where you don't have this and you're not in this place. That's what one of the hard things, especially when people give advice who have no skin in the game of your life. You know what I mean? Like you're like, yeah, no, I hear you and I understand what you're saying, but like, I have to do this, like, and this is my journey. Like, it's not. Yeah.
Like, the mind is such a weird, and you can truly, the mind is so crazy. I remember my history teacher in high school telling me, he was like, your brain can make you believe and make you feel whatever you want it to. It's so powerful. So I actually have a friend at work who was like, every day you need to wake up and be like, today is going to be a good day. Yeah. And she was like, and the more that you incorporate, like for example, this past weekend at the lake wasn't the best in the world. And I came home and all I was thinking about was like the negative, like this is this. And I was like, okay, well, what was positive? And so she was like, your brain is more likely to remember negative things because it brings on a heavier emotion and you store it in your body, whereas your positive emotions don't get to come through. So every day what she does is she wakes up, she's like, today's gonna be a good day, and she thinks about her day and how it's gonna be good, and then at the end of the day she writes down everything that was good so she doesn't forget it. That's because cool. She knows. And she's I'm not even joking when I say she's one of the happiest people I've ever known.
That's awesome.
I mean, gotta start doing
that.
There
is a thing like too, like, you know, where people like that is kind of an example of the happiness is a choice kind of thing with like, you know, like, and it is so true. We, you know, you could have 1,000 good things happen to you in a day, but like one negative thing, and you always like, I don't know about you, but I think a lot of us, and like it's kind of human nature to focus on the one thing that went wrong or whatever, you know, and it is, it gives us the most reaction, I think, in our body and stuff. So like but that's why we're all becoming, I think, cortisol addicts or whatever, you know, like the stress hormone, like, it's people get addicted to that.
Yeah. And know? It takes a lot to like train your brain, and happiness, I think, to a point.
I hope nobody takes either of us as like we have things figured out.
I don't. I cried all day yesterday. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. I was with you.
I know.
And I was like, does this bitch ever shut up?
He looked at me like 2 hours later. He goes, "You still have your cry eyes on."
Yeah.
But the thing is that one thing also real quick is that the happiness is a choice thing. I know it's not always a choice. I think there's ways.
Yeah. I struggle with even saying that because I know it's not like
you can mentally help yourself with your brain, like to cope and be better, but sometimes you do need medication. Sometimes you do need therapy. Sometimes you do need to go to rehab, but that's 100%. Totally cool. That's great. As long as you're just living and thriving, and like living is better than dying.
Right. And I totally I just want to go through
like,
go
if
back.
I died.
I want to go back a disclaimer that of like happiness is a choice kind of thing, because I just mean while yes, all those things you should do, I think it is good, like your friend, to try to remember positive things and like choose to look at things positively. If you know, but I know I've been really depressed where I wanted to die every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I know that's so hard to do. So I'm going to start crying, but yeah, like, so I, thank you. That's good now. But so I know it's such a journey, guys, and you gotta, it's fine.
I know.
You just gotta do what's best for you. Exactly. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just do what's best for you. And people love you. I swear that they do. And if you don't think they do, like, we love you. We'll love on you.
Yeah, just message us at Ogpnap.
Exactly.
Ogpnap.
OGPNAP.
Yeah, just message us. I always say that too at shows. I'm like, just message me. Like, I mean,
I know.
It's important.
It's not like I can do, like, you know, like, we're not therapists or anything like that, but like, if you just need a friend, we'll always be your friend.
If you want Josh to, you know, bully you, but like in a funny way, well, we got it for you.
I will bully you until you want to live again.
Josh, what a great conversation. I'm so glad that we got to go into this because,
me too.
Like I said, I've been feeling heavy and that sucks. So
yeah. No, I'm glad about that too. I feel like we don't always get to have like serious moments, so it's good.
Yeah. So if you want the funny part, you could just skip to this next segment.
We'll probably get more into that kind of stuff.
We love you guys, but we're gonna go on to the next segment.
Yeah, probably.
Should we do a countdown?
No, for 2 minutes? Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one.
Actually, right before we started this, I was watching a TikTok where a woman was like up in arms, and I thought she was going to be like, I'm at Target. I love Target. My kids love Target. Right. I thought she was about to be like the same old people that are like, and there's pride stuff. No, this time she wanted to burn the corporation down because there were Ouija boards. Ouija boards. Okay, do you believe in Ouija boards?
No, I don't believe in anything, not even myself. No,
next topic of mental health.
I mean, I don't know. Everybody has like a crazy story. I never used one. I grew up obviously very religious, and so they were not allowed in my house. But also, I think it's just magnets and stuff, and you know, I don't know. It's
people always are moving.
Yeah, people are always trying to assign things to things. You know, like the angel number, all that kind of stuff. Sorry if you believe in that. Okay. Yeah.
Let me hide my necklace.
Yeah. Sorry if you believe in that. I don't. But that's just where I am at in my life, you know? Like, I worked, I don't know, with the whole thing, I worked in churches my whole life, and it just kind of became like one of those things, like, once you've seen the sausage get made, you're like...
Do I really want the sausage?
Yeah. I was like, I don't really want sausage anymore, so...
Yeah, and it's also hard because a lot of churches are manipulative. Or, what are they? They're very...
I don't know. Grifters? They just
they're
take your money?
Yeah, you know, so it's... better.
I'm not talking about small churches. These are all like usually
like
pretty
mega,
big churches and things like that.
Like men's conference that was held at a church that was like, did
you see what they just did at this church in Johnson City? They had like on Sunday morning, they like did some raffle or something and gave away an AR-15. So sick. Yeah.
Guys, the glorifying of guns is absolutely insane to me. It is so crazy.
I'll be honest. Like, I like going to like shoot guns and stuff. Yes. Like sometimes like it's fun, you know, whatever. But like,
but not AR-15s.
But like showing up to church and be like, who's gonna win the AR-15?
Yes.
You know, like I don't know. Do you think Jesus would have been strapped? I don't think so.
No, Jesus would just get everybody drunk by making water wine. Like, but here's the thing,
first bartender, Bible's first bartender.
Seriously, the problem is that. It's just crazy. When the Second Amendment was made, it was because they had like muskets. You know how long it takes to like load a musket? 10 business
somebody
days.
said one time, they're like, yeah, when that rule was written, you could stop a bullet by wearing a heavy coat.
Yes. And I totally understand self-arming yourself. Yeah. But the glorification of it is what all day on the lake, all these people were wearing these shirts with American flags that are made out of AR-15s. Like, you know, like the designs. And I'm like, people die every day because of AR-15s in schools. Like, what are you doing?
Well, every day in school?
There's pretty much a mass shooting every day. We just don't hear about it anymore because we've become so sensitized to it. Desensitized to it.
Yeah. It is crazy. And I just think people need to do a better job about being responsible too.
Yes.
Like, your kid should not have access to all your firearms at any time.
And there should be background checks and references and guns are scary.
It is interesting because like I came from California and like obviously if you buy a gun there, like there's I think a month waiting period and you have like, you have pretty extensive background checks. Like my first weekend driving around here, I was driving to my buddy's house and some guy just had a sign in his front yard that just said AR-15 for sale. Like,
isn't that crazy?
I could just go knock on that guy's door and he'd be like, yeah, dude.
At gun shows here, you don't even have to have a license to buy a gun. You just buy it.
It's a loophole.
It's a loophole. I know. It's crazy. I could go on about guns. I'm all for like gun safety and like having a gun if you're responsible, but at the same time, access to guns is way too easy. Way too easy.
I just know, think about all the people you know in your life. Mm-hmm. Now think about all of the dumb people you know in your life, and you're like, they're allowed just as much as I am.
I
know.
I know, but it's not even that. It's just the topic of mental health. Like for references, having a reference to be able to own a gun is so important because let's say somebody's depressed and then they were like, you give them a reference and the reference is like, hey, no, like they're not mentally okay. Like I'm scared. There's so many important factors when it comes to that. But whatever, we'll move on from this because I'll get heated.
I talked about dumb people, but I just meant like in any sense, like emotionally, all that kind of stuff. Like they just like people that maybe are not thinking things through. Maybe, I think that's a good thing. You should think things through.
So this past weekend, I went to the lake with my family. I invited Josh, but he said no. I even offered him to sleep in between me and Tom, but he was like...
You did not. That would have been my selling point. I would have been there. You said that spot's for the dogs. And I was like,
and I ended up actually
sleeping on
the couch.
I was a dog, dude. I ended
up sleeping on the couch because I couldn't...
It could have just been me, Tom, and the dogs.
It really, honestly, it could have. You probably would have slept so good. I slept horrible all weekend, which is probably also why I felt kind of, Anyways, I have... altogether, I have 4 nephews and 1 niece.
Yeah.
4 of those kids are my sisters. And so I was at the lake with all of them. And my middle nephew, Porter, is the most funny kid. He is the most funny kid without trying.
How old is he?
He's 8.
8?
Or he's 7. He's about to be 8. He says, but he's also really mean.
Yeah. They usually are.
Yeah. I always knew Porter was going to be a little bit mean when we were at the beach when he was maybe 4. He was probably 4. And my sister and I are upstairs and we're like looking at TikTok on our phone. And my mom is out of the grocery store. The kids are downstairs fighting so hard. And all of a sudden my mom comes back and then she comes upstairs and she's like, do you know that they're fighting downstairs? And my sister and I look at each other like, yeah. And she goes, well, Porter called Langston a fat baby asshole. So Langston was crying downstairs. He's the older brother. But that's the type of personality he has. This weekend, I said to him, he kept getting hurt. And I was like, Porter, we need to wrap you in bubble wrap. And he goes, yeah, well, I'm going to wrap you in a turd.
Yeah.
Like, what a turd himself.
Very cool.
Josh told such a funny story upstairs when we were talking about kids just saying
I've been
shit.
bullied by little kids. They don't know they're bullying, but it is funny. Yeah, Courtney used to watch these two little girls, and one day I went over to like drop Courtney off at the house, and she's like, "Oh, come in with me" or whatever. And I don't know, like it seems like it might have just been like the word that they kind of like
they just learned.
yeah, or whatever. And like, I go to walk into the house, like me and Courtney walk in, and the one little girl comes up to me and goes, "Josh, you're fat," and I was like, "Yep, that's great." Another one is somebody.
Kids are so
I'm
mean.
not going to mention whose kid it was, but he'll remember this if he's never going to listen to this. But
is it
one time? Yeah, one time I was at a pizza shop with him and his fiance and their little girl who was probably 2 at the time, and like we hadn't even started our meal yet. And I go to eat my first slice of pizza, and she just goes, and starts oinking at me like a pig. And I was like, I haven't even had one single slice yet. What are you, dude? Once it got a reaction, she could not stop, dude. It was like sweet. Like,
the first part about kids,
I was like, are you?
Is it John Mulaney that's like, kids are scary because they'll point out what you're sensitive about.
Yeah.
And so he talks about how he crosses the street whenever he
sees
kids.
Sees a group
because
of kids.
He's like,
yeah,
they're going to point out something. He's like, stop it, that's what I'm sensitive about.
Yeah. Or it's like always something, they'll find anything to like make, especially like middle schoolers or whatever, but they're like, this guy's wearing shoes over here, you know, like, or whatever. You're like, what? Like, everybody wears shoes.
What are you wearing?
Yeah.
My brother, when he was younger, he was probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
We were at Taco Bell. And my mom dieted her whole entire life.
Yeah.
Like she always was like, I'm gonna, 90s.
Right.
And my brother is at the fountain drinks and he is looking down. He runs into this lady and my brother looks at her from toe to head, like slowly.
Yeah.
And he looks up and he goes, wow, lady, you need to go on a diet like my mom.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And my mom, like out of nowhere, like her hands went,
yeah. Wow.
It's really so, especially growing up in like the 90s and the early 2000s, like we've had to unlearn a lot of things that we're not allowed to say. We always knew the N-word was not okay. We know that. Yeah. But at the same time, it was not as like strict, I guess you would say, until it was like brought to our attention that, hey, this isn't okay. Not that.
Yeah. Gay's kind of making a comeback.
Gay is making a comeback. So is the R word, which makes me sad. I don't want that to come back.
What's that word?
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh. Okay.
Another word for special needs.
No. Actually, you know what's crazy is, so I have special needs people in my family and stuff, but what's crazy is, my family has the Italian restaurants or whatever.
Is it you?
And it's me. The Italian restaurant, they do a lot of work. Now it's called Desert Arc, but up until I think 5 or 6 years ago, it's called the Foundation of the Retarded. And like that's a place that helps like special needs people, so like it takes a while to switch those signs out and
it's also like
switch your name to the Yellow Pages or whatever.
My friend is a teacher and she is a special needs teacher and they're called SPED teachers.
SPED.
Yeah, special education.
Yeah.
SPED teachers. And I'm like,
yeah,
that feels wrong.
Sounds like the opposite of what you're doing. It's kind of like a slow teacher more than anything.
Yeah, there's like so many, because I remember, like saying something is gay or, anything, saying somebody's stupid, but using the R word, like that is such a, that was so normal, like normal.
It was weird. It was a weird time.
And here's the thing is that people, it is derogatory. Like guys, it is derogatory. Like saying things like that, using gay as like an insult is not a good insult anymore because gay isn't an insult. But the thing is that we had to unlearn all these things and it wasn't brought to our attention. So when you tell people they're woke for just respecting people isn't cool.
I will say the people who use gay derogatorily the most in my life are other gay people.
Well, they're allowed to. They're gay.
Yeah, they'll be like, that's gay.
I do remember that.
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember the commercial with Lizzie McGuire?
And she said, "You can't say that."
She goes, this skirt.
She comes out of clothing
Yeah,
rack.
she's like, this skirt is so gay. Then Lizzie McGuire comes out of nowhere and she goes, you shouldn't say that. She's like, imagine somebody being like, that is so girl wearing a skirt as a top.
Yeah.
And she's like, what?
Yeah.
And Lizzie McGuire's like, Disney Channel.
Yeah. The bad tracing of the Mickey ears.
I was gonna say something else that was so funny. I laughed forever about it. So my boyfriend, my fiance, my husband, Tom.
All three, the metamorphosis of a relationship.
Yeah. My nephews love baseball.
Okay.
They love baseball so much. They're very good at it. They're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But Tom and I watched a documentary about Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and like the trying to get the most home runs.
Yeah.
And I watched it. So when I got down to the league, this is how Buc-ee's has infiltrated our family.
Okay.
I was like talking to Porter and I was like, Porter, do you know who Mark McGwire is? Mm-hmm. And he sat there for a second and he looked like he was pondering it for a second. He was like, and he goes, like, McGwire. All of a sudden he goes, today at Buc-ee's, Bucky was there. And I was like, what? That literally has nothing to do with... It's
not really an answer. Yeah.
You didn't even... It's literally like he was like, Mark McGwire, today at Buc-ee's,
the Cardinals?
Bucky was there. Yeah. Buc-ee's is so good.
It's all right. I can't go in there. I can't do it. I really can't. It's, you know how I am with crowds and things like that. It's just too much. There's too much going on, too. There's too much... stimuli happening. There's a band playing. There's music going. There's ringing. There's the brisket sandwiches are ready, and then all the idiots run brisket. Yeah, I can't do it.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a little
of
overstimulating
rednecks
for me. Yeah, it's a little overstimulating.
A lot of rednecks.
It's like the whole town of Pigeon Forge just got put into a store. To me, you know, I hate Pigeon Forge, man. I don't even care if you're from there. I've talked about it. Yeah, like that is the most bullshit town I've ever been to in my life. Pigeon Forge.
The owner of Pigeon Forge is like, what?
Yeah, Mr. Forge is pissed right now. Like, no, dude.
Mr. PF.
Yeah. That place sucks. It's all dinner theaters. There's a listening room out there. That's why I was out there. Which is also...
Actually, he was visiting the Trump stores.
Yeah, I was visiting one of the 15 that they have there, and I was like... dang it. I need more special commemorative coins. Why don't... Yeah.
When we cleaned out my Gramps' house, he had so many of those stupid coins.
Yeah, I know. Dude.
I was like, Gramps!
They prey on old people. They do. They're like, you know how you've never seen a coin like this?
Yes.
It means it's very rare. Not that we just printed it or anything. Yeah.
Gramps even bought us, when we were younger, September 11th memorable coins. And I'm like, to remember this day.
You get a North Tower and you get a South Tower.
Hey, man, old people and their collectibles are incredible.
Yeah. Oh, old people love tchotchkes.
I told Langston, my nephew, this weekend, I was like, yeah, G-Doll literally left me at swim practice until like 9 o'clock at night one night because she forgot me.
Oops.
I couldn't get a hold of her either.
Oops.
Yeah.
Did he have cell phones then?
That's why I'm in therapy. No, I didn't have a cell phone then. I think I was only 9 or 10. I was in year-round swimming. So right after school, I went straight to swim practice.
Is that indoor? If it's year-round? Okay.
Yeah, and they had one phone. I used to have to call collect in the payphone outside swim
practice. Did you do the thing like the whole they're like, what's the name? And you're like, had a baby, it's a boy.
Yeah.
You know that whole remember that commercial?
It was, Mom, come pick me up. I'm really mad at you right now.
Yeah. What's the name? It's Bob, had a baby, it's a boy.
It's had a baby. And then it hangs up. She's like, who is that? It was Bob. And
he had a baby. It's a boy.
They had such great commercials.
I know. Then. We were just talking about that. How like, especially like jingles and stuff. Like how people, they just don't do it anymore. Like,
no.
Like, like people don't. And we were sitting upstairs yesterday singing all the jingles we remember. And we're like, dude, it's crazy. These are from like 15 years ago. And we're still, 15, 20 years ago. And we're still singing them and remembering them.
What was that carpet one?
Carpet.
Call 1-800-STEAMER.
Oh, yeah. Stanley Steamer.
Slaps.
Yeah, that's a great one. I mean... We were talking about...
what about the jingle about...
great low rates, you can go online, go to the general, save some time.
Yeah. Didn't do great. The college. Look at that. Inchworm inching.
Oh, yeah, it is.
An inch or centipede.
500, 280, 8300, Empire today.
There's some great ones.
What are some other ones? There's... I don't know. I was about to sing
great. I don't know why. College didn't do great.
I think the melody is not there, right? Because it's a guy and he. No,
it's a girl.
Oh, really? I was talking in a U subcompact. Oh wait, that was a. creditscore.com, baby, or whatever. Like, I don't know.
This one was the girl who like signed up for Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah. They had a few of those, I think. Yeah.
She had like the waitress, and she had like the all that, and she's like, "Oh, I'm working late because I'm a singer, right from my finger." Oh, she's so good. So good.
Yeah, that is good, man.
Yeah, we used to have such great jingles.
Yeah, we don't live in the age of jingles anymore, man. I wish we did, though.
Man, I wish we did too. We should just let's get folders in your car.
Oh yeah, a classic. What are some other ones? I was trying to think of. I had go J.G. Whitworth.
877 cash now. When they're all in the bus, they're like 877 cash now. It's my money and I need it now.
Yeah. I don't know. It is weird, man. We were also talking about like the gentrification of buildings, how everything's just like gray now. Everything's
put some color
shiplap, on the inside or whatever. It's like Chip and Joanna Gaines just like ruined
our lives.
Yeah, ruined America. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, they'd be so pissed about the new rainbow sidewalk in Nashville.
Yeah. They would not like that. That's not coming to Magnolia anytime soon.
Speaking of rainbow, on Tuesday there was the best rainbow outside the store.
Were you like double rainbow?
It was a double rainbow, and I did it. And my mom go double rainbow because the storm.
That dude died.
Really?
Yeah.
He was Hawaiian. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was in Hawaii, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. They do have a lot of rainbows in Hawaii though, because I think a lot of moisture in the air. I used to go to Hawaii for work a lot. It's cool.
Why? What'd you do?
I was a surf instructor. I had to teach the boys how to rip and shred on North Shore.
There's no way.
Just wiki.
I've never been to Hawaii.
No, I used to go play. I used to work at church. So we had our church out there, so I'd go out there. But it was cool.
Sounds like the tithing paid for that.
Yeah, it was sick, dude. I definitely think like if you work in a church, make sure you get one in Hawaii. So you have to go to Maui a lot. Make sure they put you up at like a baller, like 5-star place. And you have the guys make the reservations for all the best restaurants in the place. That's good.
Man, there was a video the other day, or maybe it was like a meme or something. It was like, man, I was sitting in church and I was like, man, God, I need you to pay my bills. Like I need help. And the next thing she knows, she gets the silver plate in her lap and she was like, oh my God.
A plate of money?
Yeah, the tithing plate. I used to think when I was younger that the money actually went to God. So we used to put them in the envelope and I would address it like Jesus. Heaven. Like that.
Can you imagine they get the money in the back. They're like, dang it, dude, we can't use this one.
A mega church.
We got to give it to God.
T-shirt gun, and they're like, yeah.
Very nice.
Wait. I was actually looking. We hit a lot of new followers too. Oh God, please not.
You could just put OGP NAP.
I had to say it in my head. 162.
Oh, really? We got 2 more since this morning.
Guys, we're doing it.
That's sick, dude. I'm so happy that like people. It seems like this. I don't know. I mean, at least 162 people do.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
162 is like a small town in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's about Braley's body count.
No. No. My mother-in-law is listening.
It's higher.
I promise you, Michelle, that is not true at all.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, because you didn't count like the whole teams and stuff.
Like, oh my God, Michelle, this is not true. Do not believe Josh.
I'm just kidding. I don't know your body count, and I don't care. Frankly, that's your business, and
it shouldn't be anybody's business. You're right,
and it doesn't matter because like that's so stupid too. And I hate when guys say like, "Oh, she's so like stretched out" or whatever, and it's like that's not how the human body works.
No, it's not. Even after you have a baby, it goes
rubber
back.
Band, right? Yeah. Like. That's very
and she's not
dumb.
Stretched out because of you, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
There was those street interview things. There was some guy going up to women and asking like, are women more important or men? And this girl was
important?
Like, yeah, like are they more like important to society? Like, because they like do what they do.
Weird question.
And this girl was like, well, women. And he was like, okay, then why do we have this? And he named like all these things that men invented. And she goes, because women birth them.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's kind of a chicken and egg situation.
Yeah. It's so silly. Those street interviews. We should do one.
They're so stupid, but okay, I'm down. Maybe we'll get the next Hawktua girl.
I cannot handle it.
I love that. I told you I saw that thing as some other girl being like, I need the amount of like delusion that the Hawktua girl has because like she had one video go viral and she quit her job. I think she was in college, right? Or dropped out and
no, she wasn't in college. She literally wished she had a job.
Hired a manager and moved to LA. And I was like, that's insane.
And off of like a joke that honestly was kind of dead after a week.
Right. Like, kind of it's like I chuckled the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, like that's funny or whatever. But then you're like, okay. Like where do you go from there?
If she does it right, she could be famous if she says something else that's funny. But it's kind of like, okay, you hired a management team for what? Right. Like, what are you going to do? Right. It's like the Montana boys. Like, what's your talent? Why do you have a management team?
Like, how is it scalable? How do you where do you go next?
Whereas, people kept bringing up Brittany Broski, I think her name is. And
her.
So she got like,
but she's a hilarious comedian too. Like, she's super funny.
So she was already set up because she's funny.
Right.
Hawktua girl, she could be funny.
I don't think she's that. I don't think I've seen pretty limited things of her, like or whatever. I saw her on Brianna Chicken Fry's podcast a little bit and stuff like that. But I was just like, it's not a star, baby. It's not a star. It's no Brayley Linderman. I'll tell you that.
I know.
And Brayley Hawktua's. I don't know. I'm just
Michelle,
kidding.
that is a lie.
Brayley's mother-in-law watches this. She does not spit on that thing. It is very proper how she.
If there is one viewer on YouTube, it is my mother-in-law. She is my biggest fan, and I really appreciate it.
She is awesome. I do like Michelle. She's a very nice lady. Shout out Michelle Howard.
Michelle Howard.
Very nice. Very nice. I've never met her, but she's been very kind to me through online interactions. So I think you got a good one. I think you got a good mother-in-law.
Yeah, I do.
Well, let's just talk about, you were going to ask me about the scariest movie.
I want to know the scariest movie you've ever seen. Because, again, I was watching a trailer and the trailer scared me.
What was the trailer?
I don't remember what it was. But it was on TikTok. It was like...
Why was it scary?
It just felt almost too demonic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And demonic stuff kind of creeps me out.
Yeah.
So...
Then you're not going to like my movie.
What's your scariest movie you've ever seen?
I don't know if it's the scariest I've ever seen. Yeah, but it is one of those things where you just like, you remind yourself, and like you have to understand, like for me, and like I'm just talking through this now, like I believe in kind of good and evil in a sense, but like I don't really there's already so much happening in our current world. I don't really give a lot of time, or I used to angels and demons and all that kind of stuff, because I just think like, I don't know, I'm just living in the moment. I'm not really thinking about too ethereal about anything. But Hereditary is a great movie.
What is that about?
Kind of about a demon that's been passed down through your family. Like about, and I
don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. It's but Ari Aster, it's an A24 film. He also did the film Midsummer, which is a great movie too.
Is that the one where they're in like
they're in
spring?
Sweden? Yeah. Right, that's a great movie. And actually, at 76, that's kind of how I want to kill you. So you'll see. If you ever watch the movie, you'll see.
In Midsummer, are you going to pass a demon down to me?
No. It's in Midsummer. Once they hit a certain age, like, and they hadn't died yet, the people just walk off a cliff. And then if they don't fully die, some guy comes over with a big mallet and mashes their head. It's awesome.
Wait, that reminds me of like The Happening. Did you ever see that? Where the wind was killing them?
No, I don't think. Wait, is that a M. Night Shyamalan movie?
It's I think that Tom Cruise is in it. Oh. It's like all of a sudden people are just killing themselves for no reason. It's like every time the wind blows.
It sounds like an M. Night movie.
It was not good. I went on a date when I was 18 with a guy. We made out the whole time. Shout out to Brian.
And she kind of gave him an over the pants handy.
Michelle, I did not do that. Oh my God. Michelle.
Hey, it's fine. There was jeans separating denim.
Michelle, I did not have it.
You wore the denim condom.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Not another podcast.
Okay, what is really, you know what's really weird? The scariest movie I've ever seen, because I feel like it could happen because people are that crazy, is The Strangers.
Oh yeah, that is totally. There's parts of that movie that are true because it was based on a true story.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, that shit could definitely happen.
Yeah. And I love that line. Like, why are you doing this? Because you were home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good line. Yeah, I remember seeing that in theaters. I jumped like
we went and saw
the
it
guy
in theaters
with the white bag over his head or whatever. And you're like,
that's so creepy. That one, and this isn't even a scary movie. It's not a scary movie, but it gave me nightmares, and it still gives me the heebie-jeebies. And it was War of the Worlds. I know. So stupid.
Yeah.
But the sound that they make.
Tom Cruise you see a lot of Tom Cruise movies.
Man. And his crooked smile.
Yeah, she's a big Scientology fan.
But the problem is that like the noise that it made, for some reason, it like tickled my brain in the wrong area. And I was like, I don't like this.
They used to do a lot of good sound design and stuff too. Like where it like kind of like messed with. Yeah, right. Yeah, Hereditary though, at the end the mom floats up in the air and cuts her own head off with a piano wire. So, you should watch it. It's good. I mean, maybe next time the whole family's all together, just
I
pop it on.
probably won't watch it.
Yeah, you probably
Tom
won't.
will not watch scary movies.
Yeah, Tom won't because
he doesn't like the sun, doesn't like scary movies, and won't go to Europe.
Yeah. Well, he's going to get taken.
Yeah, he's going to
Everyone knows they're always after the 6'3" guy,
Yeah, but what's funny is I'm not a big fan of scary movies, but I love like ghost shows.
Yeah, you do, which is interesting because you're like, what's the separation between like ghosts and like, obviously like you believe in demons. So like, what's the separation there between all those things? See, that's my problem with everything is like, we have to do so many mental gymnastics to get to where we, except where we've created our own versions of everything. And we do that in life in general, but then we do it with everything, with religion, with, like parenting or whatever. We're like, we make our own, we cookie cut it to where we're like, all right, now all the pieces kind of fit together in my mind.
Yeah.
So that's good for me.
I watch ghost shows.
Yeah. And I was asking you, what's the difference between ghosts and demons for you?
I think there are good ghosts and there's bad ghosts.
So there's Caspers and
then there's really
what's a bad ghost? I don't know.
Lucifer?
I guess everyone. Well, I guess he would. Lucifer.
Because I grew up in a haunted house.
Oh, see, that's what's so interesting to me too. Like my mom, growing up in the Christian household I grew up in, like my mom anointed all the doors with oil,
Yeah, my mom never did that.
Did all that kind of stuff, because I used to see the Hat Man when I was a kid. Like he would walk in front of my door at night, and it's just this shadowy figure, and he would walk back and forth, and sometimes just stand in the door and look at you, and you're like, this is weird. And then one time I walked into, I think it was my parents' bedroom. I saw my mom floating above the bed.
Wait. Are you being like serious?
Yeah, I am. And then I woke up on the couch. I thought it was all a dream, but it was weird because then I woke up.
But then like you don't believe in like demons and stuff like that?
No.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
But then what was that happened?
I don't know.
Who was the Hat Man?
No, I do. Okay, so I'm like really in a weird, and I don't think we have that much time to talk about this. So, like I was saying last podcast, how I kind of believe in like interdimensional things. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but it's weird, Braylee, is if you look up the Hat Man,
I don't want to.
Millions of kids have seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Millions. Mm-hmm. Isn't that weird?
Yes, that's really weird.
We've all had this experience where we've seen this shadowy figure. There's
a whole show about it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
There's the Hat Man House on Haunted Hill.
House
on something like that. And the guy, there's one kid that's haunted by a man with a hat. Like it's a hat.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like a top hat almost.
Yeah. Well, I was like...
what if it was a cowboy hat? Would you be scared?
Well, I kind of figured it more like a Freddy Krueger type hat, like kind of a
hello,
brimmed,
pretty lady.
Pretty
lady, don't be scared.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I had some weird experiences, but I also just like your mind is just such a like everything going on like at that age too. So I don't know. I don't know how much of it is real. But the Hat Man, if you've ever seen the Hat Man or had any experience with the Shadow guys, let me know. It was weird because this was my experience. Is the Hat Man was it was almost like it wasn't just black. It was like looking into the stars. Like the man was made of like the galaxy almost. Like
cute?
It was a shadow.
Oh.
I don't know.
What if you were haunted by a cute ghost?
Dude.
A cutie patootie. Like Casper. Casper was cute.
Casper's cute, dude.
Casper was so cute.
Casper's cute, dude.
Oh my God. I remember being jealous that she was like, she gets to kiss him.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, he's dead. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
The best type.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
We should really I want to do a prompt where it's like, or should we wait for like Halloween being like, tell me your serious ghost story and like have people write it?
I don't know. I mean, we could always revamp it at Halloween, like bring it back. But yeah, it might be good. I do love like audience things, and I do love guests. I think it would be fun to have some guests, more guests. And I think that's kind of how you grow too. Is like
I'm going to actually ask Dolly Parton to come on.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I think that would be great.
So make sure you keep listening to every episode for Dolly Parton.
Yeah. Tune back next week to see if we got Dolly signed up for the show. I would have to try so hard to. I'd probably just be like this the whole time. Be like, it's so great to see you, Dolly, and just have
sunglasses on. Like, she can't tell, but you're like,
yeah. Dolly, what are 2 things you love most about yourself? Because I could tell you the 2 things I love most about you.
On that note, should we?
I love Dolly. Should we?
Should we sign off?
Yeah, let's sign off.
What a great podcast today. I really like how we started it. I like the middle. I like the end.
Yeah, I would say there were some genuine laughs in there, but I think there was a lot of good stuff covered too. And I hope any of my opinions and how I am dealing with my life doesn't affect you or how you deal with your life. Because just know, like, I don't love you any less or any more.
You're about to say, I don't care about you.
Yeah, no, for how you approach your life. And I'm just, I'm going to place you questioning a lot of things, and that's okay. And I hope you're happy. Whatever it is, I hope you're just doing it to become the best version of yourself.
Amen. I'm Braley Linderman.
And I'm Dr.
You can find me at any Braley Linderman music, Bailey with an R, Linderman with an E. Josh, where can they find you?
You could find me
at the bar.
At a bar. You could find me as a twinkle in somebody's eye. I'm kind of just always around, like air. Josh Dell, Joshdel. Thank you so much for this, and thanks. Love Jordan Sparks. Shout out Jordan.
Yeah,
she's an awesome girl.
I thought you were
love
pointing
her.
to the sky, like.
Yeah, I did. Shout out Jordan.
We love you guys. Yeah. Keep listening, subscribe, share, write us.
Yeah,
for God.
Yeah, if you have ideas, please.
Not
another
podcast. I know that's one word, but we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Oh God, please, not another podcast.
Yep.